So I wanted to make a quick follow-up video to my last video, which was Shadiversity versus Skallagrim, who would win in a sword fight. I want to thank everybody for supporting the video. I got over 500 comments as of the making of this video. Everybody giving me a lot of opinions, and it's all been pretty cordial, pretty productive. Not too much nastiness in there. Shadiversity and Skallagrim also commented on the video. And they were both class acts about it, and that was very surprising. Everybody said it was going to get nasty for whatever reason. First up, a comment that came up several times was this little lady right here. So we'll see how long she wants to sit for. She could be in the video for now. Some people weren't necessarily happy with the results I came up with. I don't know how I could have been much more thorough. But anyway, that's why I went with a multivariate method for trying to determine how to do this. To try to take as much of my opinion out of it. I used percentages. I wrote down a lot of information, exchanges, responses to stimuli, branching possibilities. Obviously, that alone would not have created a desirable result. I also had two fencers study both of the subjects and face each other, but there's no way that could be perfect. So I also went with my own opinion and my own experience, and knowing that is also not perfect, I also worked through the exchanges that I thought would happen and that the other data showed would happen to see the different nuances that people might not expect. So basically I took all of that quantitative and qualitative information. I tried to find the canonical correlation, and that's essentially the match that we got. It was as even as it was because it probably would have been that even. And just to be clear about how I went about this, when it came to Shad in particular, since he only had one steel longsword fight, I went with that as the base. And I took all the other matches that he had with the foam and stuff like that and used it as supplementary data. Quite simply, there was a lot of holes that needed to be filled in. I'm glad I was able to end it on somewhat of an open ending, so you could decide for yourself. But I did give my opinion for people who thought I didn't want to pick sides. I definitely demonstrated in the video who I thought would win. A lot of people mentioned how the experience of one of the subjects should have had them dominate the other. Fencing doesn't work that way. Your experience level isn't like your power level. It doesn't work that way. Maybe I kind of messed up by using Dragonball Z images in the beginning of the video, but there are people who have been doing HEMA for many, many years and still can't quite figure out how to get beyond a certain level. You can't just look at quantitative data and come up with a conclusion just based off of that when there's so many variables involved. That's kind of what Death Battle does. It's very unsophisticated. Or Deadliest Warrior, even worse. Death Battle just kind of takes feats and numbers and just kind of has those clash, and based on the advantage they think one person would have, that's how they would do it. They don't look at the techniques that they use. I mean, you might see a Superman versus Goku video from me just because of how stupid did they go about doing that match. I probably won't actually do that, but I definitely would like to see if I could do a better job than that. Obviously, Deadliest Warrior sucked. I'm sorry if you like that show. It's awful. I don't even think, I remember Thane Thrand years ago talking to developers. I don't even think that AI program even existed, and their tests were just stupid. For example, at my club, we have quarterly tournaments, intramural tournaments, and we keep record of people's wins and losses. I'm not using this just as an opportunity to brag, but I'm the most successful fencer at the club. I've won all 7 of the tournaments that I was involved in. My win percentage is much higher than the other fencers that have competed. But I have lost, and I've lost to people who statistically shouldn't have beaten me. A lot of people that are on this list are younger than me. Several of them are much taller than me. I'm 5'11". There are people around 6'3", 6'4". They have much greater range. Some people are more fit. Some people are much faster. And some people are all of those things combined. I also use a much shorter sword than most people. Also, in my tournaments abroad, I have beaten people I should never have beaten, statistically speaking. And I've lost to people I should never have lost to, statistically speaking. And as I mentioned in the video, I don't think that Skallagrim, in my personal opinion, was at the period of time that I based this fight off of at a level that was so much higher than Shadiversity that he could easily deal with him and dominate the match, although it could potentially happen. There's an English fencing master named George Silver who wrote a treatise. He mentions a test to prove whether you're a master fencer or not. The first test is that you fight 3 passes with 3 different masters. The second one, you fight 3 half-drunk intermediates, I believe it was. And finally, you fight 3 really ardent beginners. All 3 of those provide very different challenges, and when you get to a certain skill level, you expect certain behaviors too much. And you don't expect the unexpected. And if your skills are not complete, the unexpected is going to get you. So in order to prove that your skills are well-rounded enough, I think you do have to face beginners and wild fencers from different disciplines so that you can round out your skill set. A lot of people kept commenting that Shad is currently practicing with one of his teammates weekly. Just want to reiterate that the evidence for this hypothetical match was taken from their videos that were posted around 2016, 2018. So it's based within that time period. So if it's a recent thing, it's not something I took into consideration. Shad's health was another thing that came up. I think that wasn't something that affected him during that time period to the point where he couldn't do 12 exchanges if you actually watch his matches. And Skallagrim's, both of them fenced many matches that were well within that range, sometimes exceeding that. So they were both pretty healthy at that point, regardless of whatever conditions or injuries might have been affecting them. Someone asked me about a rematch or a part 2 to this with different weapons. There's even less evidence of them fighting with different weapons. I think it might be kind of cute to do something like that double-bladed longsword versus some fantasy weapon that Skallagrim may have came up with, but I don't know if there's enough evidence to come up with something conclusive or interesting for that. Shad mentioned that he would do this for charity. He's probably just joking, but I don't know, maybe that's a possibility one day if both parties are interested. An actual fight between 2 famous YouTubers, I mean, famous as in the fact they have millions of subscribers or over 1 million subscribers, could draw so much attention to what we do. If we could get together and do something collaborative, set up something amazing, have some matches, create a card, have some, invite some other YouTubers who want to get their names out there, who want to fence, have some jousting, have some people dressed up as kings and queens, and it could be a fun time. Raise money for charity. And don't leave it in the hands of some sleazy corporation. It'd be something that maybe the sword community could put together. I think there's a lot of awesome potential for that. So what's next? A lot of people ask for various other dream matches between different YouTubers and things like that. And that's interesting. I might do that one day. I think I'd feel weird about doing other very experienced human practitioners or teachers like Matt Easton sitting there pointing out maybe what they did wrong, things like that. I'd feel maybe a little strange about that. One commenter proposed a dream match between Matt Easton and another fencer, and Matt actually responded saying that he had actually already fenced that person, which I think is very interesting. I think it would be kind of a challenge to, if I could get access to a match like that, try to put it together and see if I could get it right without actually having seen it and then compare it to the real thing. That'd be an interesting challenge. As for those other YouTubers, a lot of people mentioned like Metatron and Lindy Bage. I don't know if there's really any evidence of them fighting on YouTube. Very limited. I checked out Metatron's channel quickly and tried to find some evidence of him sparring, and there was nothing really serious in there. I doubt I could construct a very convincing match based off of that. I could probably do something a little less scientific, a little more just purely opinion-based, but I don't know if that would be interesting to people. It's something I'm going to consider, though. I'm not looking to do 2 YouTubers facing off like this right away. It was a lot of work. But I can do breakdowns like this that don't necessarily have to be between YouTubers. I've always wanted to do something Deadliest Warrior style, but a lot more scientific and well thought out and with the same kind of effort. And it doesn't even need to be between people or warrior classes. It could be weapons. I've always wanted to do, there's the old classic longsword versus katana. I've always wanted to do that in a way that I feel is right. I don't think anybody's ever done it as much justice as I feel like I could. And I like to do other things. I want to try to teach things about history through the spectrum of even fantasy weapons. I mean, a lot of people are interested in that. I may try that next. I don't want to get pigeonholed into doing just one thing. I have a lot of things on the horizon also that are hopefully tools for people who are starting or are having trouble with HEMA or fencing in general. But that stuff is going to take time. I work a full-time job. I have 3 kids. I do martial arts twice a week. I'm also working on a graphic novel. I try to fit everything I can into my daily life, but we'll see how things work out. Maybe I'll get some more free time somehow. Maybe YouTube will work out really well and I'll be able to work on all these things at once. So yeah, basically, I'm very happy with the results of the video. I'm glad that people were pleased with my way of going about it. I'm very happy with how cool everybody has been with this entire thing. So yeah, do me a favor, comment below what you think I should do next, what direction you think I should take. Any other feedback you'd like to leave me? I do read all the comments, or I'm trying to read all the comments. And thank you so much for your support. I hope I can take this much higher and do a lot more with it. So, see you next time. You want to try? Good girl. Good girl. A slayer. Your breath stinks. Your breath is stinky. Smells like chicken. Smells like chicken treats. It's stinky. It's smelly. It's gross. It's so gross.